on the next Maury Povich Show.
She said we were so broke when we were kids we couldn't afford a daddy.
Hear Joan Crawford's two granddaughters tell their continuing family pain.
I had to do what I felt was right.
They're the children left behind. The legacy of Mommy Dearest lives on.
Plus, children so small that they have to wear doll's clothes, but they share a love that's bigger than all of us.
Well, she only grows about 1/4 inch a year.
Meet the little children on the next Maury Povich Show.
Maury Povich, Wednesday at 11 on 21 Alive.
Amazon Women, the hottest new sellers in home videos on Entertainment Tonight.
These two wives are as mad as anything, and they have their boxing gloves on, ready to duke it out with the bikini-clad women who they say are trying to steal their husbands. This is going to be quite a match. Don't go away. You just wanted to slug someone? Well, Beth and Ann are fuming mad at their husbands because they say every week their spouses go to a bar, and at the bar they see half-naked women wrestle with each other in a ring. But what makes matters worse is the husbands not only watch the women they wrestle, they actually get in the ring with these nearly naked women. The husbands do. To really understand what Ann and Beth are talking about, we brought the ring and the wrestlers to our studio, and as the wives say, you really have to see it to believe it. To me what men will get themselves into. All right, Ann, you have known that your husband goes to see bikini wrestling, but this is the first time you've actually seen what goes on in the ring. When you were looking at your husband, what really went through your mind?
Well, it just disgusts me that he goes out to these clubs.
Why is it disgusting?
Because I'm at home. I'm at home waiting.
Did you just have a good time up there?
He might have, but I didn't.
I love physical contact.
I didn't have any time. And if he wants physical contact, I'm at home.
Of course.
You know? I'm at home. And
how often does he go to... In other words, these are set up in a restaurant-like situation, is that correct?
Clubs, bars.
Clubs,
Yeah.
all right. How often does he go?
About once a week.
Once a week?
Yeah.
And how long does it take? In other words, he goes after work, I'm going to assume?
After work. Sometimes he'll go after business meetings that he supposedly had and doesn't come home until 3 o'clock in the morning.
Maybe you should do a little bit more to keep him at home.
I do. We have a very, very good sex life. So I don't understand why he has to go and do this.
Sex has nothing to do with it, though. He's just coming to have fun, to get out with the guys.
Guys' night out.
That's all it is.
Well, then why are you there if it's a guy's night out?
We're the entertainers.
Some entertainment, huh? I can entertain him.
Can you get up there and do that and entertain him like that?
I don't want to.
Do you get him at home and throw him down? And obviously, he's liking it.
I don't feel like
get him at home, throw him down on the bed. That's what he wants. Do it.
No.
Sure.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. Ben has said, I make the money, I can spend some of it this way. It's a good way to blow off steam with the guys. Is that a correct quote?
We also have to make a living also.
All right.
Yeah.
Blow off steam with the guys.
Well, you get frustrated working with the public.
Right.
And there is times where you have to blow off steam before you come home and take it out on your wife and children. So you go to the bar and you relax.
Ah, if you beat up on these women, you're less likely.
They don't beat up on us. They go in the audience, they scream, they yell, they let it all out. They love it. They get up there, they're like managers, and they're up there with us, rooting us on, telling us to go in. We fight each other.
If he needs to release anxiety, then he needs to go to a gym and work out.
All right. You're quoted is saying that when your husband comes home, you can smell the sweat of women on him.
Well, they get all sweaty. They're out there, they're performing, as they call it.
Entertaining,
Oh, yeah, performing. And they just rub all over them and sweat and drip on them. Oh, it's disgusting.
You know, I've had occasions where Ben's come home from a supposed meeting and taken off his shirt, and then, you know, I pick it up and it smells like $2 perfume and red lipstick all over it.
We make
and
a little bit more to buy $2 perfume, I'll tell you
Saying
that.
I don't touch the women.
Oh, I don't touch the women.
Yeah, but they touch
in fact,
them plenty.
you know, well, I wasn't touching. They were all over me.
I don't know. Because
Let
when we
me
go
ask Beth, you claim your husband goes to a lot of lingerie shows, and you know, I don't know that they're as popular on the East Coast as they are other places. What happens at the lingerie shows?
Well, supposedly it's very meek and mild, but they have the women there and they're fashioning the lingerie, and the businessmen go through and they purchase what they like. And Tony happened to be to one just before Valentine's Day. And he was very romantic about it. He made the purchase, and he then booked a room in the hotel and made all the arrangements. We went to dinner and happened to go upstairs. There was champagne and roses and everything. And then there was this laying on the bed. And I'm all like, no, this just does not belong on me. Maybe it looked great on her, but
that's why you bought it.
That's beautiful,
But
though.
I'm just a little bit different. You know, what happens at home is a whole lot different than these women out here are totally gifted when they're born and they have everything they need.
But what is wrong with that? I have to make a living. I have a mortgage just like you. I'm married. I have children.
But I work a job every day. I go into a 9 to 5 and I wear my clothes all day long. You know, I go out and, you know, I always take my clothes off or my husband. That's intimate. That's something you do in the privacy of your own home.
This is something that you see when you go to the beach. You see this.
So are
this
you telling me
It's
because,
not, I don't think
you
there's
have
anything
children,
wrong with it.
you know, you have to work here? I don't feel like if I was to be divorced, I wouldn't, and I was left with my children, I would work 4 jobs, 5 jobs. I would not go expose myself to men I don't
have
even
to.
know.
I make enough money.
We like what we do. This is what we do. This is what we choose to do.
Well, then why'd you say
it's
you have a
more fun
mortgage
than
too?
going out and...
You said, I have a mortgage too, but I have to pay bills too. Why don't you make a living?
Isn't it funny how it always comes down to money? You're
Because
probably
we don't
sitting
have
there
to.
like me
What's
going,
what I'm doing.
We
Yeah,
don't have
Beth,
to make a living like you do.
Beth, your husband said that is the wrong size, by the way. I'm sorry. I don't know that there are a lot of women who could get into that, but your husband said, my wife is a big farm girl, and I want to look at a woman with a different shape.
Well, you know,
Here you go.
yeah.
He's got plenty of different shapes at the show.
I guess when you unwrap the package, it's what's inside.
Just because we're pretty on the outside, though, doesn't mean nothing inside.
I know that part of your
We could be
concern...
pretty on the outside, but we still have a lot inside, too.
Tony.
Just remember that.
I hear you were concerned because there was a raid on one of these places?
Right. One of the clubs in Houston, where we live, there was a raid recently. And they showed on the news a undercover video of table dances. And the girls were rubbing their everywhere.
Oh,
you know, their
yeah.
legs up against the
They were
middle of their legs.
everywhere.
And when we watched the news and I said, look at this, look. And he said, oh yeah, if you pay the whores well enough, they'll do that for you.
Well, that's totally different from what
Those
we
were
do.
exact
Totally.
words. If you pay the whores well enough. I said, you mean to tell me you like whores? And that was the end of the conversation. He just got up and he left.
So obviously you don't know the people well enough. How can you know somebody well enough to know if they're a whore or not? You can't.
I mean,
you don't know me.
A proper woman's not
You
going to
don't
be
know me
out
personally.
doing
It's
that.
not obvious because I go out and I work like this. I'm a whore. I can just pick a man out of the audience and go home with him. It's
Look,
totally
I have a
every day. I go in, I do my
also.
job,
I have a
and I
prom
leave.
bikini, but Ben, we bought it in France, and he refuses to let me wear it in public.
Ben, why do
Maybe you don't have the body to wear
I
it.
let you wear it in France.
I don't have the body.
Maybe you don't. I don't know.
think I
Obviously,
look
he's liking
real
that
good in
we're
it.
wearing it.
And he likes all these magazines, and I said, fine, you want to see me in a magazine? I'll send my photograph into Penthouse or Playboy. And okay, sure, that was fine for a minute. He thought about it for a couple days, and he came home and he said, no, I don't want all these men seeing you. I said, so what's the difference of me being in the magazine as opposed to all those women being in there. That's what you like, I'm going to do it. And he didn't want me to do it.
Well, it's a fantasy, Kim. I mean, everybody fantasizes some
So
point
I
in
was
their
going to
life.
make your fantasy come true. And
We
you didn't
don't
want me to
get
do it.
total. We go in, we entertain, we leave. We don't get personal. I'm not
get
going to know
involved
this
with
person. He came in, he saw the show. I'm not going home with him. I talk to him a little bit. That's it, and I leave. He's not going to know me on a personal basis.
I think most wives have often wondered about that. Do I understand that Tony and Ben are friends?
Yeah.
And you go to these lingerie shows and the wrestling and the boxing that women do, you go together?
Partners in crime.
Oh. Well, I want you to take a look at this. This exotic dancer says she mixes business with pleasure. We've often said, is there anything that goes on? And most people say no. Well, this woman has a different opinion. She says, I have affairs with married men who come to watch me perform. When we come back, we're going to meet a woman whose marriage almost broke up because of a stripper like this. Stay with us.
Keebler introduces the start of something big. New Sweet Spots cookies. It all begins small enough with a bite-sized shortbread cookie. But then, on top, a big chocolatey drop for an unbelievably big chocolatey taste. Remember, these are professional cookie baking elves. Do not try this yourself. But do try this, a handy 4-pack of Sweet Spots, the little cookie with the big, big chocolatey taste. New Sweet Spots, only from Keebler.
It might look like Velveeta loaf, but it won't cook like it.
You may cook with some look-alike stuff,
but it won't cook enough like Velveeta.
They're thin, or they're pale, or they'll run.
At least they got the shape of the box right.
But Velveeta marches on, over chicken and veggies so true.
You can try some look-alikes forever, but Velveeta cooks better. There's Velveeta Light, too.
Let's talk about great pairs, Fred and Ginger. Zigging and zagging, washing and drying. Well, a washer without a dryer is just wet clothes. And who wants some soggy old wring it out, hanging on the line, signal every bird in the neighborhood kind of stuff? Well, you don't have to. Not with the pick-a-pair sale that's going on at your Get It Today store, RTO, rent to own. RTO's got a full-size washer paired up with a dryer for only $18.99 a week. Free delivery, today, $18.99. Look us up in the white pages under RTO.
Just where would you get away to see the world's largest stalagmite? The birthplace of the Underground Railroad. And the country's largest horse troupe on parade. If you had your free Indiana travel guide, you'd know exactly where. You could use a little Indiana. Call 1-800-274-6646 for travel discounts. 800-274-6646.
There's a lot of men in America not going home at night. This is Kim. Like Beth and Ann, Kim is upset because her husband Mike likes to go see half-naked women perform. But it's not bikini wrestling Mike likes, it's strippers like Zarina. Come on out, Zarina. Oh, all right. We've got the wife, Kim, and she's sitting, well, I guess the husband's in the middle, but she's sitting semi-near a stripper. Please understand, like Zarina. And this is particularly hard for her because her husband, Mike, did have an affair with one of the strippers, not the one that's sitting there. Tell me about the affair your husband had. First, why did you suspect something?
Okay. There were a lot of little things that were going on at the time that made me a little suspicious. But what I found out, when I found out the way I found out was I was looking for telephone bills because we were getting a lot of calls at the house and a lot of weird things were going on. And I found a receipt, as a matter of fact, I brought it with me, for a smog check on a car that we didn't own. Had a
receipt for a smog check on a car you didn't own.
In California, we have to have our cars smogged when you buy them.
Okay.
Well, we didn't own a 87 Hyundai.
So what did you do?
I called the number that was on the receipt. And I got information that I didn't expect from a young lady on the other end of the line who had no idea what was going on. And I told her a story. I said that the car hit me in the parking lot and it had this license plate number on it. And she just gave me all the information I needed.
What kind of information did she give you?
She said that her boyfriend in a particular city had bought her this car, and that she absolutely had no idea who could have hit my car with it because he had just bought it a couple days before this receipt was dated. And so I got the information that it was a female, and I got her first name, and then I called the place where the car was smogged, and there was a nice man there that gave me all the rest of the information I needed.
Leave that around.
That this young guy in a black BMW, which is my husband's car, bought this car for his girlfriend, and they were having a hard time getting it smogged. And so I went and got gas at the station and got to know the man better, and he gave me a lot more information. And,
so you did a lot of detective work.
Yeah, I did. And I also found probably close to 100 of these complimentary passes to this topless bar, and in the trunk of his car. So I went ahead and helped myself to a few of them, and a couple friends of mine and myself went to this place. And I introduced myself to her after I watched the show and everything, just so that she knew that I did exist, just in case she didn't, which...
What was the look on her face when you...
It was, you know, she was very surprised.
Yeah, to see you.
She was very surprised and a little dumbfounded.
Now, did she think that your husband was married or not?
Well, you know, he tells me that she didn't know, but I can't understand how she wouldn't know. She couldn't call the house, and she didn't even know what city he lived in.
If I can say something, though, a lot of the girls don't know. I've had affairs with married men due to the fact that I didn't know.
Well, when you can
And it's kind of hard if you find out that they are married and you like them.
Now, Mike, you're sitting there. How long did this affair go on?
It went on for a while.
Like how long?
Well...
5 months.
Yeah.
5 months. Did you...
That's a while.
Can I ask why you did this to your wife, or...
Well, I didn't try to do anything intentionally, Kim. I mean, people out here must think I'm crazy and look and see a beautiful woman here. And we've been together for 18 years, and I guess just like the spark went out of it, and I went into these places, and they're a lot of fun, and they're easy to get addicted to, you know, and it was fun.
And eventually...
I just kept doing it, yeah.
Eventually, were you in love with the young stripper in question?
Well, no, not in love, probably, but I cared about her, and I know Kim doesn't want to hear that, but...
Did you buy her a car?
No, I didn't buy the car for her. I helped her register it.
Uh-huh.
But it's just real easy to go too far in these situations because they make you feel good. You're in there. These girls are pros. They know that our #1 need is a need to feel important, and they cater to that.
Wouldn't it be nice, though, if they took that professionalism and did something really, you know, positive with it? Yeah. I mean, these women are professionals. I saw it with my own eyes. I heard it with my own ears. I was really surprised at the things that they said.
Like what? What do they say?
Oh, well, they're asking the men, you know, do you like it like this? Do you like it like that? They're like 2 inches from them with their body parts.
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
I never had anybody ask
I never
me
say that.
Where is your marriage now? Since we have the two of you here, what's going on? Have you given up the other woman?
Yeah, I'm trying to quit doing that.
The other woman?
Trying in television land means it's not really happening a lot. Zarina, have you had affairs with the clients?
Yes.
You know, you're the first person in all the shows we've ever done, whenever we've had a stripper or a wrestler, am I right? They always say, we never touch, we never see each other, it has nothing to do with it. You're the first one to say.
It's a bit of a farce because I have to say I'm single and I work a lot. So if a gentleman comes in and they're attractive, you're gonna be attracted to them. You can't help it. You can be in an office, the same thing can happen.
No, I think that's right. I'm just surprised that you said this.
Yes, but what women wear that to the office? Jeez.
My office, yes.
Hi. It's not really a question. It's just that I feel that you can't really blame the women, because if your husbands are going to mess around, they're going to mess around no matter where they're at or...
That's true. My husband has done that. He has had an affair.
You too?
Yeah. He's had an affair with his so-called secretary, and then it turns out he was at a meeting one night, and I went out to the car and I was looking for something. I wasn't digging, I was looking for something in particular and happened to knock something over, and this girl's number was there. And when he told me, oh, no, I didn't, you know, she came to my place of business, and then he said, I found out just very recently that that wasn't the story. He went to the club the night before, and she was a topless dancer there.
Yeah, but do you think he's going to tell you the truth? They never tell you.
No, I just found out last night about
Sally,
that.
I can say something.
Well,
it doesn't always happen in the clubs. It's not
No,
the
it
way
can
that
happen
these
at work,
ladies are
too.
perceiving it to be, or the audience. It's just the fact that if you are single and, you know, as I said, if someone does come up to you that you're attracted to.
You know, do you realize, Tony, you're the
And it's
only
the
man
man's
on the
fault.
panel who hasn't admitted to an affair?
I haven't even been able to get my chance to redeem myself here.
Okay, well, what would you like to say?
There is no redemption.
You know, there is such thing as, like I was explaining about fantasy. I mean...
Yeah, there's fantasy and reality.
Yeah, but if I'm trying to make your fantasy come true and you won't let me, you know, what's
well,
the point?
will you dance for me?
I dance all the time.
You don't dance like those girls dance.
Well, I'm not one of those girls. Good girls don't do that in public, Ben. In the privacy of their own home.
Now, wait a minute. It's just a fashion.
See, I'd like it in the privacy of my own home.
As the men had said, it is just a fantasy, and basically that is what we do. We just provide a release.
Right, but I'm his wife. I'm supposed to make his fantasies come true.
Then do it.
I try, but apparently he's not.
Then yell at him.
What he wants.
Yeah, but why are we the
Get a
bad
different-
people? We're not. We're home taking care of our families and our children.
Go
our
out and see the
husbands are out
guys.
in the streets, not us.
But just because we like to go out to the bar and have a good time and watch the girls, I mean, it's no big
Yeah,
deal.
but what? Come home and watch us. You know, we can have drinks at home and dance and mud wrestle and whatever it is.
You know, it's really...
You know, why do you have to do it in a stranger?
How does that phrase go?
Just because I'm married?
Just just because I'm on diet don't mean I got to look at the. I mean, I can't look at the menu. I mean, you know.
I don't like you guys are making it look bad for the rest of us. And like Mike was saying, you must be crazy to go out with the women that you have up there. And women, if they want to go out to the bars and watch those other girls, I'll be glad to come over and keep you company.
Let's ask Tony and ask the gentleman, actually, on the panel, can two play at the same game? Suppose every time you came home, your wife was not there, she was at the Chippendales or something like that. How would you
I would
feel?
hope she'd come home...
I'd hope she'd come home to me.
In the right mood.
In the right mood.
Kim? No, Mike wouldn't like that at all.
Mike would not like that.
Mike does not like that. I used to like to go to those places.
Ben wouldn't like no.
No, he doesn't like
Does
it.
the stripper still, do you think the stripper and your husband are still having an affair?
I don't think they're still having an affair, no, but I still get a lot of phone calls, and as a matter of fact, she just called a couple weeks ago, and she was bold enough to say, hi, you know, this is, Catherine, is Mike there? And she knew who I was.
What did she want, Mike?
I wouldn't talk to her. I didn't want to do it. Kim wanted to get on the other line and a three-way conversation. I just wasn't interested right then.
Right.
It's not worth it. Kim, if I can say something to you, it's not worth it. Because if a girl is going to go that far, it doesn't matter where he met her. It's not worth it.
The girl was looking for a relationship whether it be from that bar or wherever.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
she
but
wasn't
it's easier.
interested
And
in
why do we as women have to protect our husbands? Why do we have to make sure you don't go out and do this?
You shouldn't have to. The thing is, they have to come in the bar and say that they're married.
Right. It'd be
I know
just
many
like
married
sending a
men
kid
that I'm
to a
friends with
candy
them that
shop.
made friends with their wives.
If you send my little
their
boy to a
wives come
candy
in.
shop with all these goody chocolates in front of him, he's gonna take chocolate.
Only if the women let them.
Right.
And eventually, the only way they'll let them is if they think they're single.
Yeah, but
And
a lot of times...
And if they're a bad apple in the bunch, then they're going to be a bad apple, whether they're there or in the office or at a gas station.
A lot of the clubs where we're living in Houston are getting raided for prostitution, solicitation.
So they're not as harmless as...
So it's not as harmless as everybody thinks.
They're getting raided right now. They're getting raided right now because it's election.
No, that is not the only reason.
That's something going on there.
No, that is not. No, it is not. No.
There's got to be some reason why they're going in with cameras taking
They
pictures.
haven't just been doing
Election
this
time does
obvious.
that all the
Couple
time. I'm in there. I see it happen.
Yeah, but what's going on behind closed doors? In the back room?
Now look, we just got a new police
behind the
chief.
curtain.
So what's
Kim,
gonna
I'm
happen?
interested in
He's gonna
something.
get
If you had
himself some
gotten
publicity.
If you'd gotten on the phone, what would you have said to the woman who was calling, Mike?
Well, I would have asked her what the problem was, why she was calling the house.
Right.
And
She said, I want to talk to Mike.
Well, as a matter of fact, I said, Catherine, what's the problem here? I said exactly that, and she said, I've had a really bad day and I really need to talk to Mike. And I said, no, you don't have to talk to Mike. You know, this, I don't know what she's thinking. I have no idea what she's thinking. If she's thinking, if Mike told her this is okay with me, that, hey, I accept that he has an affair with her or what? I mean, she almost acted like it was acceptable.
Let me ask Serena, do these men take off their wedding rings when they come into the...
Some do.
Some do.
I don't.
This is the first time I've seen Mike wear his wedding ring, and I don't know how long.
Well, Ben used to wear, he'd take his off and put his on the key ring, on his key ring.
Now,
Well,
wait a minute here.
I just...
See the ring mark?
I didn't say just now. I said he used to wear it on his key ring.
And I don't wear...
He lost his 14 years ago. We were married a year, so, you know, we have no problem with whether the ring's there or not. It's gone. It was very conveniently lost.
Ladies, if I can ask you, if you were in a bar with good-looking men dancing and stripping, would you want them not to know that you're married?
Hey, look, when my sister-in-law...
This can't happen, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
when his brother got married, we took her to a strip joint. It is the first time I had ever been. And I made a point to let them know I was married.
Oh,
and you know what? The men did not turn me on a bit. I'm sorry. It didn't do anything
But the
for
men
me.
are much different than the women.
Yeah.
The men are
This is true.
different.
I don't
when
think so.
they
I think
perform.
the man, I was real excited with the whole idea, but just with the idea, I mean, I would never...
You were excited.
I would, well, of course. And you know what? Maybe it could happen one time. I can understand that. A one-time thing. I'm not saying that it's right. It can happen. But 5 months, this was what I found hard to deal with.
I would think so. Yes.
Basically, you have to reach a sense of security inside yourself. If you can't work out the relationship, let it be.
Exactly.
Really.
Exactly.
You have to find a balance.
Yeah, I think that's the only advice. I just think that maybe a lot of people take the commitment of marriage a little lightly, you know?
No, I have a commitment that I take care of quite well. I go home after, whether it be after that bar, I do go home.
And then he wants to, you know, play with me. So, you know, these little
But that's the way it should be.
I ain't gonna get all hot.
You get all the appetizers and we can...
Yeah, but when they come home at 3 o'clock in the morning and you're in bed, you have to get up and go to work at 5 o'clock.
And he comes
they want to come home and drag you out of bed?
Don't you want
Come
them
home
to
at
want
9
you?
o'clock. We'll start at 9 o'clock.
I don't. They tell them to go to the bar earlier.
Gee.
When we come back, the wives said that they want to know what it feels like to go around with the bikini-clad boxers who they say are ruining their marriage. This is probably every woman's fantasy. What would it feel like to punch one of them out? So don't go away.
Introducing today's recipe pasta sauces from Ragu. Today's recipe is low in fat.
Today's recipe has no cholesterol. Today's recipe has half the sodium of our original recipe and no sugar added. A delicious recipe, a smart recipe. It starts today. Which ragu tonight? Today's recipe pasta sauces.
If you want to say Happy Mother's Day with TCBY frozen yogurt, try a TCBY cake or pie. They're delicious, convenient, and so easy to wrap.
The country's best yogurt, TCBY.
To make a sandwich with cold cuts that aren't made with shortcuts.
Eckrich is.
With Eckrich cold cuts, like our great tasting ham. Always delicious, always lean, always 98% fat-free.
Eckrich is.
Now, every time you buy specially marked packages of Eckrich, you get one free game of bowling. Instantly. Enjoy the great taste of Eckrich and bowl free.
Call it what you want, but it's not college. You're right, it's not college, but I'll like what I'm doing. And I'll learn skills that people need today. What about a job? Dad, look at the companies that hire graduates from ITT Tech. This really what you want? Then we want it too.
Find out more about ITT Technical Institute. Call now for this brochure. 1-800-942-0088.
Smokers face greater health risks like heart attacks, strokes, and cancer. And while many smokers say they enjoy the taste of cigarettes, many also know the dangers of inhaling smoke, nicotine, and toxic fumes given off by cigarettes. And while you might intend to quit smoking, the physical addiction can be overpowering. This is Jane Hershup. Wednesday on Liveline, we help you try to quit. Dial in at noon and learn the latest on kicking the habit. Get the willpower and support you need to put those cigarettes away. Join us.
People don't typically think of me as the type of person who would have HIV, but I do.
Find out more about HIV, the virus that causes AIDS.
March 1991, Rodney King is brutally beaten by LA cops. April 1992, the cops are cleared and all hell breaks loose. Are police ruining innocent lives? Next, Sally.
I have been asked if this only takes place in large cities. No, all over the United States. I think there's something like 20,000 of these places. And I guess it's a comment on us as a culture and what we do after work. We want you to meet Billy Dean. We'll ask him about that. Now, Billy Dean makes his living as the owner of Billy Dean's Foxy Boxers. Now, this is a troupe of women who entertain men in bars by wrestling with them in oil and shaving cream. Billy says a lot of married men come to see these women who perform, and while the men are very happy, as we've heard today, it makes many of the wives completely miserable, as we've heard today. Okay. We have met Ann and Beth, and they told us if they had their way, they'd challenge the sexy boxers or the wrestlers or anyone else to a round in the ring. Billy, you've set it up so the wives will get a chance to make that challenge happen today. Looks like it could be a bit dangerous. Are you sure this is the right thing to do? I mean, we've said to the wives, go after them. We've said to the women who are professionals, you're on your own, defend yourself. But suppose somebody hurts somebody.
Well,
I mean, like, I don't know if I'm...
think that these women are taking a lot of aggression out on these poor husbands. They seem to be prisoners in a penitentiary of love over here.
Prisoners.
And it seems like their aggressions, I mean, I can understand they're standing next to these gorgeous ladies. They might be a little intimidated. But we'll give them a chance to work their aggressions out in the ring with the girls. Why don't we have them go around with the Foxy Boxers?
All right.
Yeah, all right.
The Foxy Boxers, I hope, are professional enough to ward off a blow or avoid whatever, right?
I think they'll take it easy. We're just worried about this big one over here, you know? I didn't bring the heavyweights today. I'm sorry.
Sapphire is in the ring, and she's going to be our referee if things get out of hand. So round one would be Beth, the farm girl, versus Angel. Sapphire, you ready? I'm ready. Okay.
shot, celebrating it. Cheap shot. What is that cheap shot? Puts a weight behind it.
Wow, I think Beth did pretty good. She threw some very nice punches out there. Tony, you got a tough wife, and that's said fondly.
And he better know it.
All right. Beth, how did that feel? Did it feel good?
Well, actually, I kind of would have much rather punched him.
You better leave these glasses on, Tony.
Somebody asked me if we were going to do that. I think if it was your own husband in the ring, you'd probably have killed him. Right?
Probably, yes.
Okay, round 2. This is Ann versus Nikki. Sapphire, you ready?
Break them up.
Come here, you pinball.
I think we might have a pin here. I don't know. It looks like, why don't you get up, Beth? Let's take care of yourself. You got a match against Sapphire and Nikki now. 2-on-1.
I don't think that was very fair,
I think you are very brave. I really do. I mean, I applaud. I take my hat off to her because she could have gotten killed. You know that? What?
I want to see the husbands in there.
No, if they want to go in the ring, they can go in the ring with us. Let them get in the ring.
People have asked me, are the husbands really the husbands? We have to assure people who are watching. You know, you're sitting there in front of a television set. Sometimes you go, is this really happening? For goodness
No, it's
sake?
happening. It's happening.
You know, it is. You are really, and it is really, and your wife did really say that you had that affair, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Tell me, when they look at us as a culture, will you explain what this is? I mean, since you're involved in it.
Well, first off, these ladies, unfortunately, it seems like the audience and these wives here are being very aggressive to these ladies when I think they should be applauded. In today's country with the recession so bad, these are women who are making a living, buying their own food, renting their own places, own their own cars. I mean, this is part of the workforce for the women.
Yeah, but I work a job. I buy
Darling, let me explain something. There's no way you'd ever be able to do this.
That's true, but...
What did you say?
Boy, he sounds like a politician.
And they're also taking our husbands.
No, that's not what they're doing. Now, if the husbands choose to come into these locations and try and hit on these women, that's the husband's problem, which goes back to the home problem.
And I'll tell you why your husband's a lot safer here with us than he is on the street with girls that are going to want him. Because, believe it or not, we do not go after the men. We do not want your husbands, ladies. My boyfriend is gorgeous. I don't want your husband. I don't want your husband.
Does your boyfriend approve of what you do?
Well, I think my boyfriend would prefer I'm a nurse or a librarian, but he's very supportive because I'm being self-sufficient and I'm doing a great job and I'm having a lot of fun and making pretty good money doing it.
Why are you shaking your head?
Why? I just find this whole thing very humorous.
I do too.
That's the point.
That's what we're all about. We're looking to put everybody in a good mood.
I'm not laughing. I'm laughing at you instead of with you.
You're a silent majority, thank God. Sally, I don't know if you're aware, but this is a multi-million-dollar business.
All right,
now, you bring up the point of prostitution. There are investors behind these clubs that put millions of dollars. If you think you're going to have hookers working in clubs like this, you're sadly mistaken. That was an era, a throwback to the 50s and 60s and 70s. These clubs have gone through a tremendous transition.
When you have this troupe and the women go around, and granted they're professionals and they are like the girls aglow, that kind of thing, how many of these places are there in the United States that just do the boxing?
Approximately, there's approximately 15,000 clubs in the United States. Several of them are chains that are doing very well. As far as boxing shows, there's about 20 shows. We're one of the more successful shows. We tour across the country. But there are people out there because this is the way the recession has killed the industry, nightclubs, and this is the way that club owners can now generate profits for their business, which creates jobs for everybody.
Why do you think that the men want to go to these things? What do you think is...
Well, the men would have to be crazy not to want to go. Look at these beautiful girls. They happen to be terrific-looking gals with great personalities and very entertaining ladies. Now, if these guys have to get out of the house, apparently, and if I was married to these ladies, I'd be running out of the house, too.
Look, I'm over you. Excuse me, are you married?
Where's she going to be in 10 years? Is she going to look like me in 10 years, honey?
She's going to be a lot better off than you. Sweetheart, unless she goes down to Burger King and eats the whole store, she's not going to look like you.
All right.
See, that's the difference between a real woman.
I was born
That's what you call a real woman? This is what I call a real woman. Thank God my opinions are
well, you know what? Let's try to understand. Up next, a woman who says, and I don't know why, I'm like you, I'm going, huh? There's a woman who says it's perfectly healthy for these married men. They should go to bars. They should go to these places and see the boxing and the wrestling. And she does this for a living, not the wrestling and the boxing. She's like a therapist. We'll find out why a therapist says this is a good idea. I guess the men will agree with her.
Race to save during B-Window's Race Day sale.
B-Window's rollback price is a huge 33%.
Plus, save an additional 25% during our May Race Day sale. Race to check your old windows.
B-Window's tilt for easy cleaning and never need painting.
Save a huge 33 plus 25% on B's custom windows, doors, and siding. Race to call B-Window before this sale races to a close.
That's Faber's B-Window. B-Window. Disco Pool and Patio Paradise.
Whatever your swimming pool needs, Nisco has it. Choose from a large selection of pool sizes and shapes, complete pool accessories such as family pool games, solar covers, filters, heaters, and replacement parts. Nisco features a pool water laboratory to analyze your pool chemical needs. From opening to closing, you can trust the people that know.
Nisco Pool and Patio Paradise.
Whenever you reach into the dairy case, reach for the stars. The sign of pure farm fresh dairy products from Schenkel's All-Star Dairy. Every day in so many delicious ways, enjoy the wholesome goodness of the All-Star lineup from Schenkel's. Quality assured, always fresh as a farm morning. For you and your family from Schenkel's. Next time you shop, reach for the stars from the All-Star lineup from Schenkel's All-Star Dairy.
10 years, 15 unsolved murders, almost half in Indiana and Ohio. Police from 4 states have combined forces to catch the murderer, and they all believe it's a truck driver. Yet why is this person still on the roads? 21 Alive's Dan Presser examines the evidence and explores the avenues this investigation is taking in order to find out why police are still working to find a murderer on Death Road. A special report tonight on 21 Alive News at 10.
Accommodations for guests of the Sally Jesse Raphael Show were provided by the new luxury Ramada Renaissance Times Square Hotel at 48th Street and 7th Avenue, New York City.
What you're watching is what they call shaving cream wrestling. And married men actually pay money to see the sexy women perform because they say it turns them on and it's good for their marriages. My next guest couldn't agree more. Meet Joan Elizabeth Lloyd. She's the author of the book Nice Couples Do. And Joan says married men who go to bars and wrestle with bikini-clad boxers are going to be better husbands in the long run. Why do you feel that way, Joan?
Well, what I think is that these these people, it's a matter of degree. I'm not sure that I'm for every Saturday night, but a little spice in a marriage is wonderful. And if these guys are going to bars and watching this to get their juices flowing, to get a little excitement into their marriage, I think that's wonderful. I'm not saying as an exclusive diet. Personally, I was married for 17 years, and when I divorced, I have to say that part of it was from group ignorance, mine and my husband's, from never having experienced anything that said, wait a minute, there's more to life than this. There's more to life than plain vanilla. This is kind of like, you know, rocky road. But there's nothing wrong with a little sexual creativity. The problem that these folks are having is how to move that urge to do something a little different out of the boxing ring and into the bedroom.
But we do it. We do extraordinary whipped cream type of stuff.
Obviously there's something, and I'm sure you have a wonderful relationship at home, but obviously there's something that Ben wants that he's going out there to get, that maybe there's a way for you and he to capture at home. One of the problems is it's so hard to discuss the fact, and maybe even for Ben to say, hey, look, I'd love you to cover yourself with hot oil, lie on a plastic sheet on the bed, and I'd love to kind of give you a nice erotic massage that's going to go here, there, and everywhere, and end up doing wonderful, fun things. The problem is that this has gotten so important.
I have a basic question.
Sure.
If a woman, and 50% of us are working, and you're bringing up the kids, and you're cleaning the house, now you want us to add shaving cream and hot oil?
Not necessarily shaving cream, but ladies, you gotta keep him at home. You gotta keep him from taking his sexual aggressions out on some nice lady he picks up in a bar, because that's the last thing that any of us women. I am completely monogamous, and yet I have managed to do it in part by adding as much erotica, dirty talking, whispering wonderful erotic stories to each other in the middle of the night.
These women are going to get the energy. When we come back, Joan is going to give advice to Kim and Mike. I mean, I should think Joan would be alarmed to find out that at least 2 couples on our panel, the men were having affairs. And this was the affair that Mike had with the stripper. So we'll see what you have to say, Joan. We'll be right back.
At the Olive Garden, at the end of every generous bowl of crisp garden salad, every bountiful basket of soft, fresh-baked breadsticks, and every warm, friendly smile, you will always find another, and another, and another. Because at the Olive Garden, the word generosity begins with a G, but ends only when you are happy. The Olive Garden Italian restaurant, where all the best of Italy is yours.
And here's Daddy during deadline loan.
At Summit Bank.
People borrowed money for many things, Janie.
Like horses?
Daddy loaned $30 million.
You sure worked hard.
Boss, deadline loan 92? Another $30 million, 8.39%? Unbelievable.
I'll miss you, Daddy.
Deadline loan with $30 million to lend at a fixed 8.39% APR and up to 4 years to repay. Deadline loan at Summit Bank ends May 29th.
And he said, well, I won't be gone but just a few minutes. And that's the last we saw him.
The people they love mysteriously vanished.
We tore the house apart hunting for her. And she was
How could anyone just disappear without a trace?
My father was not one that would just leave his family.
Was it murder? Was it kidnapping? What really happened?
She did not leave on her own.
Strange disappearances on the next Oprah.
Oprah's on Wednesday at 4 right here on 21 Alive.
The 3rd annual Easter Seals 3-on-3 Hoops Tournament is coming June 13th and 14th, and we're getting ready by practicing with the best. There are men's, women's, and wheelchair divisions.
And you'll play a minimum of 3 games.
Maybe they'll be ready by June.
No. See, pick up your Easter Seal Hoops entry form at these locations. Watch the News Sentinel for more information. Deadline for entries is May 24th.
Joan has some advice for the couple where the gentleman Mike had the affair with this stripper. But first, some of my Hunterdon County friends have said, why is it the woman's job to make the man come home?
Oh, it's not. Absolutely not. In this particular case, I've been addressing my comments to the women because it's the men who had the affair, but it's not. It's everyone's job. It's both partners' job in a relationship to keep the juices flowing, because 20 years or 15 years of marriage is a long time with a single partner. You've got to be willing and have the time and the energy, which I know is difficult, to add something a little different to your relationship. What happened, I think, with Mike is that it got a little bit carried away. I advocate monogamous relationships. What you have to think of when you're tempted, and we're all tempted, men and women alike, what you have to think of when you're tempted is the risk versus the reward. The reward was whatever pleasures he got out of a second relationship. The risk is the relationship that these two people had together. And you've got to, can get the juices flowing at the moment, and it's very, very difficult to stop and consider the risk that you're running by doing it. Disease, what have you, aside from the risk of an 18-year wonderful relationship.
And also setting a bad moral example for your children.
Oh,
Quick
absolutely.
question.
I was wondering why these women are blaming the girls and not the husbands.
Oh, well, I'm not just blaming the girls.
I'm not blaming the girls at all.
I also think that if they were going to have an affair, they would have an affair whether they were with these girls or anybody.
Right.
Exactly.
Take a break. We'll be right back.
Open your mouth and close your eyes. Here comes a big surprise.
Cereal. What is it?
Yes.
It's nice and weedy, and it's not mushy.
It's really crunchy, right?
Yep. Give me a hint.
Well, it's 100% whole grain.
Let's see. It's wheat, it's whole grain, it's really crunchy, it's corn checks.
Ted.
If you haven't tried deliciously crunchy whole grain wheat checks, you gotta check out Checks.
Rice checks.
Ted.
A striped toothpaste that fights tartar? Come on.
That's the way I like it.
I need proof it works.
That's the way I like it.
So I asked our dentist about Aquafresh.
Those Aquafresh stripes really fight. Aquafresh with powerful fluoride fights cavities, fights plaque, and fights ugly tartar. All concentrated in the only toothpaste striped to fight.
It works. They like it. I'll buy it.
Aquafresh, the one they like is striped to fight.
I like it.
So you think getting older is boring, eh? Think again. The Townhouse Retirement Community, where life never gets old.
Mother's Day and Chevrolet, like barefoot boys on a sunny day. Little girls dressing up to play, they go together that way. To the store, to the school, to the game. Without you, life just wouldn't be the same. You brought me to where I am today. Mother's Day and Chevrolet.
Yeah, it just seems to me that the wives are jealous of the dancers.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to tell all you gentlemen out there, come see our show. We'll let you know what it's really all about.
I think the women should come see the show, too. Maybe they'll understand us a little better.
You're shaking your head.
Welcome to all the shows.
Personally, I think this is degrading to women.
Thank you.
Yeah. We have worked so hard to come this far, and then you have these women who are sexually exploiting.
It's only degrading if you let it be. Right. These women are earning a living just in the same way that everyone else is.
To earn a living in today's society.
They're enjoying what they're doing. And I will bet that there's a higher percentage of these girls enjoying what they're doing than there are women out in the audience who enjoy whatever day job they have. I enjoy my job. Good for you. You're one of the lucky ones. You're one of the lucky ones.
All the men on the panel seem very quiet. Do they ever ask their wives to do these things, or do they prefer going out?
Oh, yeah. I've asked her.
That's never been a problem.
I'm not in the mood.
Well, wait till I finish the dishes and do the laundry and put the kids to bed after I've given them a bath.
And
do you help do that?
But you know, Beth, if you had tickets to the hottest show on Broadway or wherever it is that you live, you'd make time.
And
I think it's really important for wives, girlfriends, whatever, to make the time. I know it's tough with taking care of a family and all the things that we all do, and I do them as well. But you've got to do it like it's an appointment. And we're gonna spend this evening together doing wonderful new things and have fun.
Allen County Motors, Jackson Ford, and Schaefer Ford. Say 3 cheers for the red, white, and blue Tempos. Your citywide Ford dealers have 100 Tempos in stock and priced at just $99.99. And these Tempos at $99.99 come equipped, not stripped, with air, power mirrors, tilt wheel, monochromatic paint, automatic transmission, and more. 3 cheers for the $99.99 Tempos and your citywide Ford dealers. Allen County Motors, Jackson Ford, and Schaefer Ford. Your quality one connection.
In the good old days, life in Fort Wayne was nice and simple. And the good old cars of that era were pretty darn simple, too. But today, things are a whole lot different. In fact, automobile technology has changed more since 1980 than in all the years before. At Russ Moore Transmission, we've kept up with these changes and now have one of the country's most advanced transmission diagnostic centers. But let's remember where we came from. Russ Moore Transmission.
Ossian Furniture.
Ossian Furniture is growing.
They're building a large new warehouse, which means better and faster service.
New shipments of fine furniture are arriving daily, and the new warehouse is not completed.
Their current warehouses are bulging, and this merchandise must be sold now.
Saving store-wide up to 60% off.
No down payment, no monthly payment, no finance charge for 6 months to qualified buyers. No minimum purchase required. Free delivery within 100 miles.
The warehouse construction sale going on now.
Ossian Furniture.
On the next Maury Povich Show.
She said we were so broke when we were kids we couldn't afford a daddy.
Hear Joan Crawford's 2 granddaughters tell their continuing family pain.
I had to do what I felt was right.
They're the children left behind. The legacy of Mommy Dearest lives on.
Plus, children so small that they have to wear doll's clothes, but they share a love that's bigger than all of us.
Well, she only grows about 1/4 of an inch a year.
Meet the little children on the next Maury Povich Show. Maury Povich, Wednesday at 11 on 21 Alive.
If you'd like to order a video cassette of Sally's show for only $19.95, call 1-800-FOR-SALLY. 1-800-FOR-SALLY for video cassettes only. For a transcript, send $3 to 1535 Grant Street, Denver, Colorado, 80203, or call 303-831-9000.
I want to thank all our guests. Billy Dean's troupe of Foxy Boxers is based in Long Island and Queens, New York. And starting on May the 25th, this group is going out for an 18-city East Coast tour. So batten down the hatches. Thank you very much. Come see me.
Some members of our audience will receive, and a promotional fee has been provided by...
Did you worry about perming your hair? Not with new Lilt for total condition, with conditioners built in every step of the way. It's the worry-free perm.
At last, Alpine Lace, fat-free and low-cholesterol singles made with real cheese. You mean I can eat cheese products again? Gluten-free and lean.
Sugar Twin, the diet sweetener that costs less, tastes great, and sweetens perfectly. Sugar Twin, sweet taste, sweeter price. Qvel. Now you can help prevent painful nighttime leg cramps with Qvel. Qvel helps stop leg cramps before they start. Qvel. Use only as directed.
this Mother's Day.
Improvement. Then Hayden hates her hair.
Men don't respond to them.
Whoa, Kelly. On Coach.
Great hair. Yes, Mama. Uh-huh.
It's special tonight, starting at 9, 8 Central.
If you want to say Happy Mother's Day with